Hello, this is the last video in this series. It's about setting a NAT in a Mikrotik router inside GNS Free. So let's go to GNS Free and to the routers options to put a Mikrotik cloud hosted router into our topology. That router we will set up to provide network address translation to our network. So for that we'll have to set up a private network. We can use any private IP address, for example 172.16.00/24 will be okay, and we need to connect one computer in that private network. So we'll go to our end devices, we'll choose our Ubuntu virtual machine, and we'll plug that machine into our router. Important, the Ethernet 2 port, because the other port, the Ethernet 1, is reserved, not reserved, is used by default to connect to internet. So we'll use Ethernet 2 for our private IP address, and then if we go to the NAT device, in all devices you choose the NAT device, we will plug that NAT device to the Ethernet 1 port of the router. So that's our topology. We got that NAT device that will connect our router to the outside, to the internet, and then we've got that Ethernet 2 port that connects our router to a private network. Let's start our router. Let's start also our Ubuntu machine. We'll boot into Ubuntu, and first of all we'll have to set up the IP address of the router. The IP address of the router, I always use the first address in the network, and the first will be 172.16.0.1 .1/20.1/24. And for the Ubuntu virtual machine, first we'll use an IP address from that network, for example 172.16.0.111, for example. Any address of that network will be okay. /24. All the devices in the same network should use the same mask. So first of all, let's set up the IP address on our router. So let's choose the console. Here we are. Default user is admin. There's no password, and we have to set up a new password. So I will use Mikrotik. Okay, here setting up an IP address is easy. You just have to go to the IP and then to the addresses menu, and the command is add. I want to add a new address. The address is 172.16.0.1/24, and the interface important is Ether2, the interface we got in our private network. Let's check, print, okay, the right IP address, and nothing more. We can do the rest of the configuration of the router from the Ubuntu machine. So let's go to a console in our Ubuntu machine. Here we are, Ubuntu. You can realize that there's no network here because there's no internet access. So first I'll reduce the size of the screen. Okay, uh, first we'll have to create a manual profile to connect with the router. So go to network parameters, create a new profile. I'll put private network as the profile name. The address should be manual 172.16.0.111 mask /24, and we don't need that, but just we can put 172.16.0.1 as the gateway. The other thing that we should ask when we set up a network, remember that's the DNS server. We won't be using now, but just we could put just the Google server. Okay, done. Let's check with the terminal to make sure that the address is okay. Okay, so let's try if we can ping the IP of the router, which is 172.16.0.1. Okay, it's working. So now we should be able, from that virtual machine, opening a Firefox browser, you should be able to connect to our router, putting the IP address of that router. So here we should put 172.16.0.1. Okay, the user is admin and the password is Mikrotik. Not saving it, and remember that you should go to the webfig configuration. Here we have two interfaces, Ether1 and Ether2, and if we go to the IP addresses, we realize that we got two different addresses. One is the one we've set up for that router, the 172.16.01, and the other one is the address that the router has taken with the DHCP client from the NAT cloud. So now this router is set up so it can connect to the internet. We can test going to a terminal. I think it's outside. Now it's inside. Okay, going to a terminal and saying just ping 8.8. So it's answering, and we could also use a name, ping google.cat, and it makes the DNS translation. So google.cat is at the address here, at the IP address here. Okay, the router has internet connection. We are in our Ubuntu virtual machine. We can ping our router, but if we try to ping internet, it's not working. Why it's not working? Because even though we have put IPR our default gateway, we won't be able to access the internet before setting up NAT translation in the router. So let's do that, and we should do that from that webfig web configuration. Okay, where we should go to IP, and inside IP firewall, and in the firewall realize that there's different tabs, one with filter rules and the other one with NAT rules. We should go to the NAT rules because we have to add a new NAT rule. Which one? One translating the source NAT, because we want to translate the source IP address from that private network to the IP address on the other side. So we have to put source NAT in the chain, and if you go down and down and down, here in the action we should use masquerade, which means to go to the outside, to go to the other network, just put the IP address of the Ether1 interface. So nothing more. You can apply, OK, and now we have a NAT RAL. Let's check what happened with our pings to internet. Now they are working. And let's check that it's because of that RAL. If we go to that RAL, we can see here that the pings are going on and on, but if we disable that RAL and apply, the pings stop. So now without that NAT RAL there's no pings, and as soon as we enable it back and apply, pings continue. So that's how we have set up that NAT role in a Mikrotik router. Going to IP, inside IP firewall, inside the NAT tab, you have to add a RAL saying that you want to translate the source IP address and want to masquerade the address. Nothing more. And that's it. That's the last video of that series. Thanks for watching.